Republic. We seek to treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, good morning and welcome to our morning sitting. And clerk, where is my order paper? Today being Wednesday, Wednesday 17th September 2025. And we shall proceed. Clerk, order number 1.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Honorable members, I have a number of communication to make. Number 1 is order number 2.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
All right, thank you. Honorable members, I have several communications to make. I guess that is why I was in a hurry. Number 1 is we have submission of Kericho County annual reports and financial statements for financial year 2024-2025, forwarded by the Department of Finance and Economic Planning, Honorable Jackson Rob, CC Member Finance and Economic Planning and Head of County Treasury. So this is a county annual report and financial statements for financial year 2024-2025. It is hereby committed to Committee on Budget and Appropriation Committee, and I hope since the chair is not here, then the leader of majority, please you note that so that you can inform the chair accordingly, because it has so that they can go through it and report to the House. Members, the other communication that I have is in regards to petitions. I have a whole file of petitions, and this is a petition addressed to the clerk in regards to public petition by the Kericho Association of Contractors and Suppliers on adoption of a fair, open and transparent tendering in all procurement processes and cycles. That is number 1. That is on the issue of e-procurement. This is petition sent by the Kericho County Association of Mr. Edward Kiptoro and Secretary General Mr. Elijah Rono. Second petition, former personal assistant and chief officer, office of the governor, of the first governor, Professor Chipkwem. That is one Anthony Kipkoech Goska. There is a petition, and this is matters of medical welfare. Legislation, the petition is petition and proposal for legislation on medical welfare of former governor or governors of Kericho County. The other one that is before us is petition to compel the county government of Kericho to honor the plaintiff's claim for compensation as per the judgment dated 13th October 2022. This is one sent by Michael Kipkini, addressed to the clerk, compelling the county government actually to compensate Mr. Michael on the damages. That will the committee will look into. I'll not read everything. This was a matter actually before the Environment and Land Court at Kericho, and apparently the defendants, that is the county government, should have paid Kenya shillings 500,000 to the plaintiff, compensate his for wrongful entry onto land parcels Kericho Kipchimjim stroke 607 and 608. That is the other. I hope you are noting all those petitions. The chairman for JLAC. Who is the chairperson for JLAC? Who is the chairperson for JLAC? Koskei. Okay. There is also now another petition for intervention on delayed payments to coaches who train county officers for the 2023 Kikoska Games. This is a petition again from Kikoska coaches led by William Chiriot. There is another petition parcels part of Kericho stroke Kipchimchim 1058, 1068. There is a petition again here. This is in regards to Chepseon, West Tomungo Kipkerema Benin Road, being managed by the county government. So I'll just read, I'll not go through everything. The committee will go through one by one. There is a petition on nepotism, corruption, dishonesty, and fraudulent selections of persons to fill positions in the advertisement of county jobs. Signed by a number of people. There is another petition from the Kericho CSO network to Kericho County Assembly addressing concerns raising the county executive of Kericho financial statements by the Office of the Auditor General, report of 2023-2024. There is another petition to the County Assembly of Kericho concerning the recent advert of recruitment for persons to various departments in county government by the County Public Service Board. There is a petition on Chepsir Kwenet Kibulela Chibwe water projects. Yes, honorable members, those are the petitions that are. There is another one, petition in Londiane Town, Tamak Road and drainage. Those are the petitions the committee on JLAC should look into. All these petitions is hereby committed to the committee on JLAC, that is Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. On the members, the other communication that I have to make is submission of County Annual Development Plan for financial year 2026-2027. This is ADP for 2026-2027, submitted by the CC Finance and Economic Planning and Head of County Treasury, the Honorable Jackson Drop. This one is committed to the committee of, is it finance or leader majority? Annual development plan committed to which committee? Finance and economic plan. Budget and appropriation committee. Okay, please note that. Committed to the budget and appropriation committee. There is another one here. This is report on the approval hearing of the Kericho County Hospitals Management Committees. And I will read, this is from the Department of Health Services by Dr. Awan, that further reference to the memo CA Health 93 Volume 3 Volume 2 65 dated 7/2025 on the above subject matter. The Department of Health Services received a approved list of hospital management committees for each facility as indicated. The committee did the observation on suitability under section 4.04 of approved report. Omit 4 nominees who do not attend hearing proceedings. Please find the attached list of 4 for a fresh vetting for the same. So, Honorable Chairman for Health, if you are not here, any member from Health, please note that this is submission of 4 fresh nominees to fill those positions for Kericho County Hospital Management Committees. And for purposes of record, this is for Kericho County Referral Hospital, Dr. Isaac Tsikutsu, who is a member NGO representative from Ainamoi. That is for Kericho County Referral Hospital. Number 2, for Kapkatet Sub-County Hospital, nominee CPA Jacqueline Chekwet, member finance from Bureti. And for Nadian Sub-County Hospital, Juma Mufti Wazir, that is member FBO Islamic from Kipkelion East. And for Tenant Sub-County Hospital, we have Naomi Rotich, member NGO representative from Kipkelion West. So that is the one for health. So it's hereby committed to the Committee on Health Services. We also have one for lands, housing, physical planning and settlement. This is actually as a result of follow-up meeting that was done after the report had been committed to the committee. So this is additional information, and these are the minutes of the list of 230 people, arrangement of list amendments, the committee of both sides and their members. The both sides agreed on how the list will be made or rearranged. So, Honorable Chairman, Lance, the additional information here is hereby committed to your committee, sent by Mr. James Chelule, Secretary, and Mr. Joseph Ngeno, Chairman. And we are, this is based on the meeting that you attended last time. So it's hereby committed to the Committee of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Settlement. We have the other communication is from the Department of Education, Culture, Libraries and Social Services. And this is submission of draft bills for consideration. And the bills are, number 1, the Kericho County Early Childhood Education and Development Bill 2025. I want to read again because this is very important. The Kericho County Early Childhood Education and Development Bill 2025. 2, the Kericho County Library Services Bill 2025. The Kericho County Library Services Bill 2025. And number 3, the Kericho County Culture Bill. The Kericho County Culture Bill. So there is a request by the CC Honorable Judith Chirchir for this House to fast track the approval of these bills to be enacted into law, so that it can benefit the residents of this county. And in that regard, these 3 bills are hereby committed to the Committee on Education and Child Welfare. So you can note that. The other communication to make is from myself here. This is to honorable members, and I will do it. I wish to draw your attention to the matter concerning the representation of County Assembly of Kericho at the County Assembly Forum. Pursuant to the mandate of this Assembly, to designate its representatives to the forum, and noting that the other members have served for close to 3 years, it is hereby communicated that the members who have been representing this Assembly at the forum shall cease to hold the responsibility with immediate effect. Accordingly, with immediate effect, the following shall be new representatives to the County Assembly Forum. 1. Honorable Cheriot Bet. 2. Honorable Monica Chalangat. 3. Honorable Vincent Koske. It is so directed. Clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Next.
Order number 6, notice of motions. 1. Notice of motion by Honorable Matthew Perry to remove from office of the County Executive Member in charge of lands, housing and physical planning through impeachment.
Honorable Matthew Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, I beg with the support of the members of the County Assembly of Kericho whose names and signatures have annexed here to as Annex 1 to move the motion of removal of office of Honorable Joseph Korir. The notice. I give notice. Motion.
Yeah, to give notice.
Yes.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I give notice of the removal of Honorable Joseph Korir, CC member of lands and physical planning. Honorable Speaker, through impeachment, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg with the support of honorable members of the County Assembly of the Kericho whose names signatures have annexed here to as Annex 1 to move the motion for removal of office, notice of motion of Honorable Joseph Korir, Executive Member of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning of Kericho County Government for 1. Abuse of office, 2. Gross misconduct, and 3. Mr. Speaker, gross violation of the Constitution and other written laws. The specific grounds, Mr. Speaker, of this motion are organized thematically in ensuring paragraphs of motion. The evidence in support of the motion is set out in my affidavit in support of this motion and to annex to my affidavit. Further, Mr. Speaker, the affidavit presented herewith verifies the accuracy and reliability of the annex of the motion. Whereas, Mr. Speaker, Article 2 of the Constitution set out the supremacy of the Constitution of Kenya and binds all persons and all state organs at both level of government, and that the article no person may claim or exercise state authority except as authorized under the Constitution. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, Article 3 of the Constitution establishes an obligation on the part of every person to respect, uphold, defend the Constitution. Article 3, that is number 3, Mr. Speaker, Article 10 of the Constitution sets out national values and principles of governance for Kenya. Among those values and principles are the rules of law, a rule of human dignity, equality, non-discrimination, good governance, and integrity, transparency, and accountability. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, Article 10, 73, 75, and 232 of the Constitution of Kenya require state officer at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that inter alia, 1, brings honor to the nation and dignity of the office that a state officer holds. 2, Mr. Speaker, portrays selfless service based solely in public interest demonstrated by honesty in execution of public duties and declaration of the person of interest that may conflict with the public interest. 3, Mr. Speaker, ensure decision making made by the state officer are not influenced by nepotism, favorism, and improper motives, demonstrate in disciplines towards disciplines and the commitment in the service to the people. And 4, avoid demeaning the office of the state officers hold. Number 5, Mr. Speaker, Article 73, 2D and E, and 231(1)E guides for accountability of a state officer to the public for all decision-made exercise of the powers of the office they hold, and that accountability is critical principle of leadership and integrity. Number 6, Mr. Speaker, Section 3 and 16 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 and Section 9, 10, and 12 of the Public Officer Ethics Acts 203 establish, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, probity, non-discrimination, protection of transparency, accountability as part of the national values and principles of governance. Mr. Speaker, number 7, Section 4(1) of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that every person has a responsibility of implementing the provision of this act to the extent required by this act. Number 8, Mr. Speaker, is Section 7(1) and 2 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state officer shall respect and abide by the Constitution and the law, and what the state officer shall carry out the duties of the office accordance with the law. Number 9, Mr. Speaker, is Section 8 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provide that the state officer is a position of public trust and authority to responsibility vested in a state officer shall be exercised by a state officer in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Number 10, Mr. Speaker, Section 9 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that a state officer shall take responsibility for the reasonably consequences of any action or omission arising from the discharging of duties of the office. Number 11, Mr. Speaker, Section 11 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 obligates state officers to carry out the duties of the office in manner that maintains public confidence in the integrity of the office. Number 12, Mr. Speaker, Section 12 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provide that a state officer shall not use the office to unlawfully or wrongfully enrich himself or herself or any other person. Section 13, that is number 13, Mr. Speaker, of the Section 13 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 set out morals and ethical requirements that person holding a state office should observe, maintain, to include honesty in the conduct of public affairs subject to the Public Officer Ethics Act number 4 of 2003. Not to engage in activities that amount to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent information to the public, not engage in wrongful. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if I can be adding something.
All right. Order, honorable members.
I have to repeat number 13, that is section 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, set out the morals, ethical requirements that a person holding a state office should observe and maintain, to include honesty in the conduct of public affairs, subject to the Public Officer Ethics Act number 4 of 2003, not to engage in activities amounting to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent information to the public, not engaging in wrongfully conduct for furtherance of person benefiting, not misuse public resources, not discriminate against any person, except as expressly provided for under the law, not in any records, not engage in action which will lead to the state officer removal from the membership of provisional body in accordance with the law. Section 14, Mr. Speaker, and that is number 14, of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 obligates a state officer not to at all times carry out duties of the office with impartiality and objectively, accordance with the Article 10, 27, 73, 2B, and 232 of the Constitution, and shall not practice favoritism, nepotism, tribalism, cronyism, religious bias, or engage in corrupt or unethical practice. Mr. Speaker, Section 7, that is number 7, Section 4. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Number 15, Section 25 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, that the state officer who advise shall give honest, accurate, and impartial advice without fear or favor, while Section 29 prohibits state officer from knowingly giving false or misleading information. Number 16, Section 30 of the Leadership and Integrity provides that Section 30 of the Leadership and Integrity provides that the state officer shall not falsify records. Mr. Speaker, number 17, Section 41 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the breach of code of amount of misconduct for which a state officer may be subjected to disciplinary proceedings when allegation of breach of the code has been made against a state officer in respect of whom the Constitution or any other laws provided. The procedure for removal, dismissal, the question of removal of dismissal or dismissal shall be determined in accordance. Dismissal shall be determined in accordance to the Constitution or that of the law. Number 18, Mr. Speaker, Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012, Standing Order Number Kericho County Assembly, provide for removal of office the County Executive Committee member on the following grounds. A, Mr. Speaker, that is number 1, gross violation of the Constitution and any other law, incompetence, abuse of office, gross misconduct, or if convicted of any offense, punishable by imprisonment for at least 6 months. Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order Number 76 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders further provide a procedure to be followed in the removal of a member of County Executive Committee member from office. 20, Mr. Speaker, the aforementioned a member of the County Executive member has on a multiple occasions directly and indirectly engaged in acts and conduct which several collectively amount to gross misconduct. Mr. Speaker.
Order on the members. Order. Let's consult the motions. Order. Let's proceed on the matter.
To the one, Mr. Speaker, by this act, contact county executive member has exposed the office he holds in the executive committee to embarrassment and extreme disrepute. 22, Mr. Speaker, the conduct of aforementioned county executive committee member has been scandalous and embarrassing to the high office of the hold, and contrary to the constitutional values, principles spelled by the Constitution, which are binding to the county executive committee member. 23, Mr. Speaker, aforementioned county executive committee member has variously committed constitutional wrongs that warrant to removal from office. The Constitution, that is number 24, Mr. Speaker, the continued stay in office of the aforementioned member of the County Executive Committee as and will continue to undermine effective service delivery to determine of the people of Kericho County. The County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, resolved to remove from office under Section 40, the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Orders number 76 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders on the following grounds, Mr. Speaker. Ground number 1, abuse of office. In various occasions, the County Executive Committee member has repeatedly engaged in 1, abuse of office by authorizing illegal withdrawal of county funds or the public resources, Mr. Speaker. 2, that is B, cover up falsifications of documents. Number 2, fictitious payment of works and service. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, failing to keep records of documents in the department and authorizing payment not supported by proper documentation from the county coffers. The department had budgeted $2,500,000 and procured goods worth $2,985,000, which exceeded the budget of $984,000. This unauthorized expenditure of $984,500, Mr. Speaker, was incurred contrary to the Section 45(3) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, which require all procurement process to be within approved budget estimates. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the public participation was taken. The public participation was to take place on 18 November 2024 as per the document provided to the committee, Mr. Speaker, on fictitious payment. However, the computations was based on $500, 500 people for 5 days, and not 1 day as required. Furthermore, the photos attached to the payment vouchers was for another event held at Moi Gardens on 24th March 2024 and not for the Chelimo event, which was held on 6 December 2024. As documented by the Kericho County Assembly official page, Section 45 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Act prohibits a person from making fraudulent payment from public revenue or public resources for service not rendered adequately. Gross misconduct, Mr. Speaker. 1, consistently failing to provide leadership and discharge its responsibility as the county executive member. 2, failing to exhibit honesty, transparency, and impartiality in execution of his duties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, refraining from taking personal responsibility, Mr. Speaker, making diversionary and contradictory statements about the circumstances under which the funds were lost, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, appropriating or repeating and feigning ignorance on unfortunate theft of funds. Mr. Speaker, number 4, the act of the county executive member enumerates above as brought dishonor and disrepute in the office on Mr. Speaker, and the amount of gross misconduct a ground for removal from office of a member of the county executive member, Mr. Speaker. Violation of the Constitution and other written laws. Approving the withdrawal of funds. Approving the withdrawal of public funds contrary to the provisions of Section 138 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. Breaching the trust bestowed on state officer by Article 73 and 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. The aforementioned County Executive Committee member is in breach of Section 54(1) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. Mr. Speaker, the act of the aforenamed County Executive member enumerate above as gross disorder and disrepute in the office he holds an amount to violation of the Constitution and other written laws, a ground to remove from office of a member of the executive committee. Evidence in support of my motion, Mr. Speaker. Evidence of his engagements, convince and complicity in proceedings act of gross misconduct to be found in 1, Mr. Speaker, report of the alleged fictitious payment of 85 million for various departments in financial year 2024-2025, August 2025. Conclusion, Mr. Speaker. Conclusion, Mr. Speaker. 3.1, that is number 3. In the preceding paragraphs of motion, Mr. Speaker, and the evidence annexed in this motion, I have outlined the grounds of gross misconduct and laid out the precise specificity and particulars in support of the grounds for removal of Honorable Joseph Korir, the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Housing and Physical Planning. 3.2, Mr. Speaker, the motion herein contains sufficient particulars and evidence to prove the aforenamed member of the County Executive Committee acts of omission and commission which in their totality constitute gross misconduct, abuse of office and violation, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you, Honorable Matthew Korir. Next, notice of motion.
Notice of motion by Honorable Awan to remove from office the County Executive Committee member in charge of agriculture, livestock and cooperative development through impeachment.
Honorable Awan, you can proceed to give notice of your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move. I beg with the support of the members of the County Assembly of Kericho, whose names and signatures I have annexed here to Annexure 1, to move on notice of motion for the removal of office of Honorable Margaret Larat, the County Executive Committee member for Agriculture, Livestock, Cooperatives, Management in the County Government of Kericho. For number one, abuse of office. 2, gross misconduct. and 3, gross violation of the Constitution and other regional laws. The specific grounds for the motion are organized thematically in the ensuing paragraphs of the motion. The evidence in support of the motion is set out in my affidavit in support of the motion, and 2, the annex of my affidavit. Further, the affidavit presented herewith verifies the accuracy and reliability of the annex of the motion. Whereas Article 2 of the Constitution sets out the supremacy of the Constitution of Kenya and binds all persons and all state organs at both levels of government. Under the article, no paragraph may claim or exercise state authority except as authorized under the Constitution. 2, Article 3 of the Constitution establishes an obligation of the part of every person to respect, uphold, defend the Constitution. Number 3, Article 10 of the Constitution sets out national values and principles of governance for Kenya. Among these values, the principles are the rule of law, human dignity, equality, non-discrimination, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Number 4, Article 10, 73, 75, and 232 of the Constitution requires state officers at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that, inter alia, brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office the state officer holds. Number 2, portrays selfless service based solely on the public interest, demonstrated by honesty in the execution of public duties and declaration of any person interests that may conflict with the public interest. Number 3, ensures decisions made by the state officer are not influenced by nepotism, favorism, improper motives, demonstrates discipline towards discipline and commitment in service to the people. And 4, avoid demeaning the office that officer holds. 5, Mr. Speaker, Article 73, 2DE and 232(1)E. The Constitution provides the accountability of the state officer to the public for all decisions made in exercise of powers of the office they hold. And that accountability is the critical principle of leadership and integrity. Number 6, Section 3 and 16 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 and Section 9, 10, and 12 of the Public Officers Ethics Act 203 establish, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, probity, non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, transparency, and accountability as part of the national values and principles of governance. Number 7, the Section 4.1 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that every person has the responsibility of implementing the provision of the Act to the extent required by the Act. Number 8, Section 7.1 and 2, of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides the state officer shall respect and abide by the Constitution and the law, and that the state officer shall carry out the duties of the office in accordance with the law. And number 9, Section 8 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state office is a position of the public trust, and the authority, the responsibility vested in a state officer shall be exercised by the state officer in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Number 10, Section 9 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state officer shall take personal responsibility for the reasonably foreseeable consequences of any actions or omission arising from the discharge of the duties of the office. Number 11, Section 11 of the County Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 obligates the state officers to carry out the duties of office in a manner that maintains public confidence in the integrity of the office. Number 12, Section 12 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that the state officer shall not use the office to unlawfully or wrongly enrich himself or herself or any other person. Number 13, Section 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 says out that the moral and ethical requirements that a person holds state office should observe and maintain to include honesty in the conduct of the public affairs subject to Public Officer Act number 4 of 2003, not to engage in activities that amount to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent information of the public, not to engage in wrongful conduct in furtherance of the performance based not issues of public resources, not discriminate against any person except the expressly provided for under the law, not falsify any records, not engage in action which would lead to the state officer removal from the membership of the professional body in accordance with the law. Number 14, Section 23 of the Leadership Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state officer shall not use their office or the information gained from their office to improperly enrich himself or others. If prohibits the pursuit of personal wealth through abuse of office, including insider information, favorism, and manipulation of process for personal gain. Number 15, Section 24 of Leadership Integrity Act of 2012 obligates the state officer to, at all times, carry out the duties of the office with impartiality, objectivity, in accordance with the Article 10, 27 to 73, 2B and 232 of the Constitution, and shall not practice favorism, nepotism, tribalism, cronyism, religious bias, and engage in corruption or unethical practices. Number 16, Section 25 of Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that state officer who has a duty to give advice shall give honestly, accurate, impartial advice without fear or favor, while Section 29 prohibits state officers from knowingly giving false information, false or misleading information. Number 17, Section 230 of the Leadership Integrity Act of 2012 provides that state officer shall not falsify records. Number 18, Section 41 of Leadership Integrity Act 2012 provides that the breach of the code amounts to misconduct for which the state officer may be subjected to disciplinary proceedings where an allegation of breach of the code has been made against the state officer in respect of whom the Constitution or any other law provided the procedure for the removal or dismissal. The question of removal or dismissal shall be determined in accordance with the Constitution or any other laws. Number 19, Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012, Standing Orders number 76 of the Standing Orders of the County Assembly of Kericho provides that the removal of the County Executive Committee member on any of the following grounds. Number 1, or A, gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. Number 2, incompetence. Number 3, abuse of office. Number 4, gross misconduct. And lastly, if convicted of any offense, punishable by imprisonment for at least 6 months. Number 20, Section 240 of the County Government Act 2012 and the Standing Order number 76 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders set out the procedure to be followed in the removal of the member of County Executive Committee member from office. Number 21, Section 12 of Public Officers and Ethics Act provide that the public officer shall carry out their duties in a way that maintains public confidence in the integrity of their office. They are required to be professional, efficient, impartial, courteous, and serving the public, and to always put public interest above personal gain. Number 22, Section 16 of Public Officers and Ethics Act prohibits public officers from allowing their decisions or actions to be influenced by nepotism, favorism, and other improper motives. A public officer must act objectively and impartially, avoiding any conduct that could suggest corrupt and personal bias in performance of their duties. 23, Section 22 of Public Officers and Ethics Act makes it an offense for the public officers to request, receive, or accept any property, benefits, or advantage in the course of their official duties if such benefits is intended to influence them in carrying out their functions. It directly addresses the bribery and corruption, requiring officers to reject any inducements and perform their duties based on the salary or merit and law. Number 24, Section 26 of Public Officers and Ethics Act provides that the public officers shall not cause anything to be done through another person that would be contrary to the Public Officers and Ethics Act if done by the officers themselves. In other words, a public officer cannot escape liability by delegating or using proxies to commit acts that amount to unethical conduct. 25. The aforementioned member of the county executive has at multiple occasions directly or indirectly engaged in an act that conduct which severally and collectively amounts to gross misconduct. Number 26, by his acts of conduct, and the county executive committee member has exposed to the office he holds in the county executive committee to embarrassment and extreme disrepute. 27, the conduct of the aforementioned county executive committee member has been scandalous and harassing and pressing, to the office he holds, contrary to the constitutional values and principles spelled out by the Constitution and which are binding on the county executive member. 28, the aforementioned county executive committee member has variously committed constitutional wrongs that warrant his removal from office. 29, the continued stay in office of the aforementioned member of the county executive committee has and will continue to undermine the effective service delivery to the detriment of the people of Kericho County. The Assembly resolves to remove from office under Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012 and the Standing Orders number 76 of the County Assembly Standing Orders all the following grounds. Number 1A, abuse of office. In various occasions, the County Executive Committee member have repeatedly engaged in A, abuse of office. In number 1, authorizing and illegal withdrawals of funds from the county coffers. B, cover-up and falsification of documents. C, fictitious payments for works, goods, and services not done or delivered. D, failing to keep proper records of documents in their department and authorizing payments not supported by proper documentation from the county coffers. And E, openly supporting the county assembly's efforts to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act 2012. F, consistently using his powers at the office to implement the further personal and clandestine interest at the expense of the trust bestowed in the office they hold. The totality of the foregoing act of the County Executive Committee member is that they have brought dishonor and disrepute into the office he holds, amount to abuse of office, gross misconduct, and violation of the law, valid grounds for the removal from office of the member of the County Executive Committee member, to the extent that, number 1, they are contravention of the provision of Chapter 6. They are in contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya. Number 2, his acts are incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of the state office. Number 3, they significantly diminish public confidence in the office of the County Executive Committee member and his ability to effectively discharge his mandate. Number 4, by his act of omission and commission, the County Executive Committee member has occasioned the county government of Kericho massive losses of public funds in the department he runs. B, gross misconduct. Number 1, holding public office despite being a state officer in contravention. Mr. Speaker, I want to repeat this. Holding a public office despite being a state officer in contravention of Article 73(2) of the Constitution of 2010, 35 of the County Government Act, and Section 12, 16, 22, 26 of the Public Officers Ethics Act, and Section 11, 20, 23, 26, 30 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. A, the County Executive Committee member was sworn in office on March 5th, 2025. He is still a board member of Kenya National Oil Corporation, where he draws allowances and other benefits. B, the said member became a board member via Gazette Notice 16995 dated 13 September 2023 and still holds the said office to date as evidenced by the Kenya National Oil Corporation website. Attached, Board of Directors, National Oil Corporation of Kenya. Furthermore, the member to date has not been degazetted by the respective cabinet secretary. C, the said member did not provide any document to show that he had resigned from the Kenya National Oil Corporation during vetting at the Kericho County Assembly, a duty he ought to have done. D, the County Government Act expressly provides that a member of the County Executive Committee shall not hold any other state or public office. This is a direct bar on the CC continuing to hold a board post in the state corporation while serving as a CC. E, in the case of Roger Mogusu versus Onyango Ono and 2 others, 2015, EKLR, the High Court held the members of board of state corporations, even if appointed or on a part-time basis, are public officers within the meaning of the Constitution and are therefore bound by the Chapter 6 of Leadership and Integrity. The court emphasized that such board members exercise public power, draw benefits from the public resources, and make decisions that affect the public. Hence, they cannot escape the ethical and constitutional standards imposed on the state officer. F, consistently failing to provide leadership and discharge his responsibility as a county executive member in accordance with the Constitution and the law. G, failing to exhibit honesty, transparency, and integrity in the execution of his duties. H, refraining from taking responsibility, making the versionary and the contradictory statements about the circumstances under which the public funds were lost in his department. And I, approbating and feigning ignorance on the unfortunate loss of the public funds. The act of the County Executive Committee member enumerated above amount to gross misconduct, grounds for the removal from office of a member of the County Executive Committee pursuant to Section 40 of the County Governments Act and the Standing Order number 76 of the County Assembly of Kericho Standing Orders. Incompetence, number 1, presiding over the misappropriation of funds in which a sum of Kenya shillings 14,980,640 could not be accounted for. In the financial year 2024-2025, the Department of Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperative Management budgeted 14,980,640 for the purchase of soybeans, maize jam, sunflower, seed cake, and cotton seed cake to support the cooperative societies across the county. Anomalies in the procurement process, which were flagged by the committee as indicated in the annex report of the ad hoc committee on the late fictitious payments as follows. Number 2, goods not delivered including soybeans, maize jam, sunflower seed cake, and cotton cake are known to have been supplied for 14,980,640. Number 3, the committee noted that at the time when the payments were made, no supplies had been made to the various cooperative societies. However, after the Deputy Governor's request that the County Assembly to investigate the issue, that the letter dated 10th July 2025 was raised partially delivery of the raw materials was delivered on various farmers' cooperative societies. This is in violation of Regulation 83(2)(e) and Regulation 98(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government's regulations. Number 4, the procurement was split into 5 in order to facilitate the use a request for quotation instead of using open tender, which are more transparent and competitive. Number 5, this was in breach of Section 54(1) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, which stipulates that no procuring entity may structure procurements as 2 or more procurements for the purpose of avoiding the use of giving up procurement procedures. Number 5, the county government made the payments of $2,828,000 on 3rd of July 2025 to Nesville Enterprise Limited for a less supply of delivery of office furniture. The committee observed that E-Team's invoices was not attached to the payments voucher, and copies of S11 provided, which indicated where the goods were issued, was not legible. Hence, the committee could not determine where the items were issued. C, violation of the Constitution and other written laws. Number 1, providing the withdrawal of public funds contrary to provisions of Section 138 of Public Procurement and the Asset Disposal Act 2015. 2, breach the trust bestowed to the state officer or state officers by Article 73 and 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. 3, aforementioned County Executive Committee member is a breach of the Section 54(1) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. Number 4, is in breach of Regulation 43 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. The act of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member enumerated are in violation of Constitution and other written laws, grounds for removal from office of the member of County Executive Committee. Number 2, evidence in support. Evidence of his engagement, connivance, and complicit in the preceding acts of gross misconduct is to be found in report. Number 1, report on the County Assembly's ad hoc committee on alleged fictitious payments, August 2025. Number 2, report on implementation status of local programs, August 2025. And number 3, Kenya National Oil Corporation website, Board of Directors, National Oil Corporation of Kenya. Number 3, conclusion now. In the preceding paragraphs of the motion and the evidence annexed to the motion, I have outlined the grounds of incompetence, gross misconduct, violation of the Constitution, the law, and abuse of office. I have laid out this precisely specificity and particulars in support of the grounds for the removal from office of Honorable Margaret Larat, the County Executive Member for Agriculture, Livestock and Corporate Management. 3.2, the motion herein contains sufficient particulars and evidence to prove the aforementioned member of County Executive Committee acts of omission and omission, which in this totality constitute to gross misconduct, abuse of office, violation of the Constitution, and other written laws, and warrant his removal from the position of County Executive Committee member. 3.2, the conduct of the aforementioned County Executive member as depicted in the motion is extremely unethical, deplorable, and reprehensible, is incompatible with the dignified status of the office, the County Executive member, Valkacha. Given the grounds outlined in this motion and status particulars, whose particulars I have enumerated above, I humbly urge this Honorable House to uphold the motion and resolve pursuant to provision of Section 40 of Government Act of 2012, Standing Order number 76 of the Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders, and to remove the Honorable from the office. Honorable Margaret Larat, the CC in charge of agriculture, livestock, and cooperative management, county government of Kericho. Thank you.
Clerk, next notice of motion.
Notice of motion by Honorable Harold, the County Executive Committee member in charge of Finance and Economic Planning through impeachment.
The Honorable Aaron Rotich will proceed with your notice of motion.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg with the support of the members of County Assembly of Kericho, whose names and signatures I have annexed here to Annex 1, to remove a notice of motion for the removal of office of Honorable Jackson Drop, the County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning, County Government of Kericho. 1, abuse of office; 2, gross misconduct; and 3, gross violation of the Constitution and other written laws. The specific grounds of the motion are organized thematically in the ensuing paragraphs of the motion. The evidence in support of the motion is set out in the affidavit support of the motion, and 2 annexes to my affidavit. Further, the affidavit presented herewith verifies the accuracy and reliability of the annex of the motion. Whereas Article 2 of the Constitution sets out the supremacy and the Constitution of Kenya and binds all persons and all state organs at both levels of government. Under the article, no person may claim or exercise state authority except as authority under the Constitution. 2, Article 3 of the Constitution establishes obligations on the part of every person to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. 3, Article 10 of the Constitution set out the national values, principles of governance for Kenya. Among these values and principles are the rule of law, human dignity, equality, non-discrimination, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. 4, Article 10, 73, 75, and 232 of the Constitution requires state officers at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that, inter alia, brings honor to the nation and dignity of the office the state officer holds. And 2, portray selfless service based solely on the public interest, demonstrated by honesty and execution of public duties, and declaration of any person's interest that may conflict with the public interests. And number 3, ensure decisions made by state officer are not influenced by the partisan favoritism and improper motives. Demonstrates discipline towards discipline and commits in service to the people. And finally,
just take your seat. Deputy Speaker. seat.
Number 3, ensure decisions made by state officers are not influenced by nepotism, favorism, improper motives, demonstrates discipline towards discipline and commitment to service to the people. And finally, avoids demeaning the office the state officer holds. 5, Article 73 2DE and 232 1E, the Constitution provides for accountability of the state officer to the public for all decisions made in exercise of powers of the office they hold, and that accountability is a critical principle of leadership and integrity. 6, Section 3 and 16 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, and Section 9, 10, and 12 of Public Officers Ethics and Ethics Act 2003 establishes, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, probity, non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, transparency, and accountability as part of the national values and principles of governance. Number 7, Section 401 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that every person has the responsibility of implementing and the provisions of the Act to the extent required by this Act. Number 8, Section 712 and 1 and 2 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state officer shall respect and abide by the Constitution and the law, and the state officer shall carry out the duties of the office in accordance with the law. Number 9, Section 8 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state officer is a position of the public trust and authority and responsibly vested in the state officer shall be exercised by the state officer in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Number 10, Section 9 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that state officer shall take personal responsibility for reasonably foreseeable consequences of any action or omission arising from the discharge of their duties in office. 11, Section 11 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 obligates the state officers to carry out the duties of the office in a manner that maintains public confidence in the integrity of the office. Number 12, Section 12 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the state officer shall not use the office to unlawfully or wrongfully enrich himself or herself or any other person. Number 13, Section 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 sets out the moral and ethical requirements that the person who holds a state office should observe and maintain, to include honestly and in conduct of the public affairs subject to the Public Office Ethics Act number 4 of 2003, not to engage in activities that amounts to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent information to the public, not to engage in a wrongful conduct in furtherance of personal benefit, not misuse public resources, not discriminate against any person, exercise as expressly provided for under the law, and not falsify any records, not engage in actions which would lead to the state officer's removal from the membership of a professional body in accordance with it. Section 24 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 obligates state officers to, at all times, carry out the duties of the office with impartiality, objectivity, in accordance with Article 10, 27, 73, 2B, and 232 of Section of the Constitution, and shall not practice favorism, nepotism, tribalism, cronyism, religious bias, and engage in corrupt unethical practices. Number 15. Section 25 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that state officers who has a duty to give advice shall give honest, accurate, and impartial advice without fear or favor, while Section 29 prohibits a state officer from knowingly giving false misleading information. 16. Section 30 of the Leadership and Integrity Act provides that state officer shall not falsify records. Number 17, Section 41 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that the breach of the code amounts to misconduct for the which the state officer may be subjected to disciplinary proceedings, where the allegations of breach of code has been made against the state officer in respect to of whom Constitution or any other law provides the procedure for the removal or dismissal. The question of removal or dismissal shall be determined in accordance with the Constitution or any other law. Section number 18. Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012, Standing Order number 76 of the County of the Standing Orders of County Assembly of Kericho provides the removal of the County Executive Committee member on any of the following grounds: A, gross violation of the Constitution or any other law; B, incompetence; C, abuse of office; D, gross misconduct; and E, if convicted of any offense punishable by imprisonment for at least 6 months. 19. Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012 and the Standing Order number 76 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders further provides for the procedure to be followed in the removal of a member of County Executive Committee member from office. Number 20. The aforementioned member of the County Executive Committee has on multiple occasions directly or indirectly engaged in an act and conduct which severally or collectively amount to gross misconduct. 21. By his act or conduct, the County Executive member has exposed the office he holds in the County Executive Committee to embarrassment and extreme disrepute. Number 22. The conduct of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member has been scandalous and embarrassing to the high office of they hold, and contrary to the Constitution main values and principles spelled by the Constitution, which are binding the County Executive Committee member. The aforementioned County Executive Committee member has variously or committed constitutional wrongs that warrant their removal from office. And 24, the continued stay in office of the aforementioned member of County Executive Committee has, Mr. Speaker, I think someone is playing clips here. I think Honorable Pile seems to be, doesn't want me to proceed. I think you better put it in order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Noela Pile, put your phones in silent.
Abuse of office. Number 1. On various occasions, the County Executive Committee member have repeatedly engaged in, number 1, abuse of office by authorizing the illegal withdrawals of funds; B, cover-up and falsification of documents; C, fictitious payments of works, goods and services; and D, double payments of retention fees; and E, failing to keep records of documents in their departments and authorizing payments not supported by proper documentation from the county coffers. F, openly supporting the county assembly efforts to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act 2012. F, G, their power and office to implement and further personal and selfish interests that profit them at the expense of the trust bestowed in the office they hold. The act of the County Executive Committee member enumerated above has both dishonor and disrepute into the office he holds and amount to abuse of office. A good ground for removal from office of the member of the County Executive Committee member to the extent that, number 1, he is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of the state officer and a person of the stature of the County Executive Committee member. Number 2, he significantly diminishes public confidence in the office of the County Executive Committee member and his ability to effectively discharge his mandate. And number 3, he ran upon the oath of office taken by the state officers to obey, preserve, protect, and uphold the Constitution at all times without fear, favor, ill will, affection, or prejudice. B is incompetence. Number 1, presiding over misappropriation of public funds, in which a total of Kenya shillings 85,704,522.90 was paid to 46 companies across various departments of the county government of Kericho for goods, works, and services alleged to have been supplied. And number 2, the following companies were paid: Mengro Product Limited 430,060 cents, Indama Construction 422,670, Bespoke Construction Supplies 417,456, and D Prospera Ventures 370,199, and E lastly IBM Pro Limited, violation of the Constitution and other written laws. Number 1, approving and the withdrawal of public funds contrary to sections of this provision of sections 138 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. Number 2, breaching the trust bestowed on state officers by Articles 73 and 75 is in breach of Section 54(1) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. The acts of the aforementioned member declared above as blow, dishonor, and disrepute in office he holds and amounts to violation of Constitution and other written laws, are grounds for removal from office of the member of County Executive Committee. Evidence in sub 3, conclusion. In the preceding 3, conclusion. In the preceding paragraph of the motion and evidence annexed in this notice of motion, I have outlined the ground and laid out with the precise specificity and particulars in support of the grounds for the removal of support of the grounds for the removal of office of Honorable Jackson Drop, the County Executive Member for Finance and Economic Planning. The motion herein contains sufficient particulars and evidence to prove the aforementioned member of County Executive Committee acts on omission and commission, which in their totality constitutes a gross misconduct, abuse of office, violation of the Constitution and other written laws, and warrant his removal from the position of County Executive Committee member. 3, from the position of County Executive Committee member. 3, the conduct of the aforementioned County Executive and depicted in the motion is extremely unethical, deplorable, and reprehensible, is incompatible with the dignified status of the offices of the County Executive Committee member. Now, given the grounds outlined in this motion and whose particulars I have enumerated above, I humbly urge this House to uphold the motion, the notice of motion, and resolve the pursuant to provision of Section 40 of County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order 76 of County Assembly of Kericho, standing orders to remove from office Honorable Jackson Drop, the County Executive Committee member of Finance and Economic Planning, County Government of Kericho. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Awan Rotich. Next, Clerk.
Notice of motion by Honorable Mrs. Rotich to remove from office of the County Executive Committee member in charge of Public Works, Roads and Transport to impeachment.
Mrs. Rotich, take to the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, we have had a long, busy morning, Mr. Speaker, but nevertheless, when duty calls, Mr. Speaker, we are here to discharge, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of our people, Mr. Speaker. Allow me, I beg, Mr. Speaker, with the support of members of this County Assembly of Kericho, whose names and signatures have annexed here as Annexure 1, to give a notice of motion for removal from office of Honorable Brenda B, the County Executive Member of Public Works, Roads and Transport in the County Government of Kericho, Mr. Speaker. For 1, Mr. Speaker, abuse of office; 2, gross misconduct, Mr. Speaker; and 3, gross violation of the Constitution and other written laws. The specific grounds of the motion are organized thematically in the ensuing paragraphs of this motion, Mr. Speaker. The evidence in support of the motion is set out in 1, Mr. Speaker, my affidavit of this motion; 2, Mr. Speaker, the annexes to my affidavit. Further, the affidavit presented herewith verifies the accuracy and reliability of the annexes to this motion. Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 2 of the Constitution sets out the supremacy of the Constitution of Kenya and binds all persons and all state organs at both levels of government, under the article, no person may claim or exercise state authority except as authorized under the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 3 of the Constitution establishes an obligation on the part of every person to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. Whereas Article 10 of the Constitution sets out national values and principles of governance for Kenya. The principles are the rule of law, human dignity, equality, non-discrimination, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Whereas Article 10, 73, 75, and 232 of the Constitution requires state officers at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that, inter alia, 1, brings honor to the nation and the dignity of the office that the state officer holds; 2, but portrays selfless service based solely on the public interest, demonstrated by honesty in execution of public duties and declaration of any person in any personal interest that may conflict with the public interest. 3, ensures decisions made by the state officer are not influenced by nepotism, favorism, and improper motives. Demonstrate discipline towards and commitment in service to the people. 4, avoid demeaning the office that state officer holds. Whereas Article 73, 2D, E, 232, 1E, the Constitution provides for accountability of a state officer, to the public for all decisions made in exercise of the powers of the office they hold, and that accountability is a critical principle of leadership and integrity. Whereas Section 3 and 16 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, Mr. Speaker, and Section 9, 10, and 12 of Public Officer Ethics Act of 2003, Mr. Speaker, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, probity, non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, transparency, and accountability as part of the national values and principles of governance. Whereas Section 4.1 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that every person has the responsibility of implementing the provision of this Act to the extent required by this Act. Mr. Speaker, whereas Section 7.1 and 2 of Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that state officer shall respect and abide by the Constitution and the law, that the state officer shall carry out the duties of the office in accordance with the law. Whereas Section 8 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, Mr. Speaker, provides that the state officer is in a position of public trust and authority, and responsibility vested in a state officer shall be exercised by the state officer in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, whereas Section 9 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that the state officer shall take personal responsibility for reasonably foreseeable consequences of any action or omission arising from the discharge of duties of the office, Mr. Speaker. Whereas Section 11 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 obligates state officers to carry out the duties of the office in a manner that maintains public confidence in the integrity of the office. Whereas Section 12 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, Mr. Speaker, provides that state officer shall not use the office to unlawfully or wrongfully enrich himself or herself or any other person. Whereas Section 13, Mr. Speaker, of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, Mr. Speaker, sets out the moral and ethical requirements that a person holding a state office should observe and maintain, to include honesty in the conduct of public affairs, subject to the Public Officer Ethics Act, known 4 of 203, not to engage in activities that amount to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent the information to the public, not engage in wrongful conduct in furtherance of personal benefits, not to misuse, Mr. Speaker, not to misuse public resources, not discriminate against any person, and not practice favorism, nepotism, tribalism, not practice favorism, nepotism, tribalism, cronyism, religious bias, or engage in corrupt or unethical practices. Whereas Section 25 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that a state officer who has a duty to give advice shall give honest, accurate, impartial advice without fear or favor, while Section 29 prohibits a state officer from knowingly giving false or misleading information. Whereas Section 30 of the Leadership and the Integrity Act of 2012, Mr. Speaker, provides that a state officer shall not falsify records. Whereas Section 40 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, Mr. Speaker, of 2012 provides that a breach of the code amounts to misconduct, for which the state officer may be subjected to disciplinary proceedings. Where an allegation of breach of the code has been made against the state officer in respect of whom the Constitution or any law provides the procedure for removal or dismissal. The question of removal or dismissal shall be determined in accordance with the Constitution or that other law. Whereas Section 40 of the County Government Act, Mr. Speaker, of 2012 and the Standing Order 976 of the Kericho County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, provides for the removal of the county executive member on any of the following grounds, Mr. Speaker. Number A, Mr. Speaker.
What is it, Honorable President? Honorable Moses, take your seat.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity you have granted me, Mr. Speaker. I raise on a standing order number 30, Mr. Speaker, on the extension so that I can rise, Mr. Speaker, and move a motion on extension of time, Mr. Speaker, whereby, Mr. Speaker, the standing order clearly stipulates when there is anticipatory that the business, Mr. Speaker, cannot be completed on time, Mr. Speaker. Our standing orders allow that we move a motion 30 minutes prior to the time, Mr. Speaker. So I rise to move a motion for extension of time, Mr. Speaker, from the normal, Mr. Speaker, until we complete the morning scheduled businesses, Mr. Speaker. So, and I ask the Honorable Majority Whip of the party to second, Mr. Speaker. I therefore submit.
Thank you, Honorable Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I want to second the extension of time that has been moved by Honorable Ngetich. Mr. Speaker, on the magnitude of the work that we have here before us today, Mr. Speaker, I want to beseech the honorable members to support so that we can successfully complete, go through the motion, the reports, the rules of motion that are before us this morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
Thank you, Honorable Whip. I now propose the question that this House approves the extensions of time from our normal 2:30 until we conclude the business that was scheduled. From 12:30 until we conclude the business that was scheduled for this morning session. I now put the question that this House extends time from our normal 12:30 until we conclude the business that was scheduled for our morning session. As many of that opinion say aye, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. So, Honorable Moses Rotich, you can proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. We had agreed that when duty calls, we are most obliged to discharge to its conclusion. Mr. Speaker, allow me that I start from number 18, Mr. Speaker, that whereas Section 40 of the County Government Act of 2012, Standing Order number 76 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders provides for the removal of County Executive Member on any of the following grounds, Mr. Speaker, that A, gross violation of the Constitution and any other written law, incompetence, Mr. Speaker, the abuse of office, gross misconduct, or, if convicted of an offense, punishable by imprisonment for at least 6 months. Whereas Section 40 of the County Government Act of 2012 and the Standing Order 976 of the Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders further provides for the procedure to be followed in the removal of a member of the county executive member from office. 20, Mr. Speaker, a aforementioned member of the county executive member has on multiple occasions directly and indirectly engaged in acts and conducts which severally and collectively amounts to gross misconduct. Mr. Speaker, 21, and conduct. The county executive member has exposed the office you hold in the county executive committee to embarrassment and extreme disrepute, Mr. Speaker. The conduct of the aforementioned county executive member has been scandalous and embarrassing to the high office of they hold, and contrary to the constitutional values and principles spelled by the Constitution, which are binding on the county executive members. 23, Mr. Speaker, the mentioned county executive member has variously committed constitutional wrongs that warrant their removal from office. 24, the continued stay in office of the aforementioned members of the county executive committee has and will continue to undermine the effective service delivery to the detriment of the people of Kericho County. The Assembly resolves to remove from office under Section 40 of the County Government Act of 2012 and Standing Order number 76 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders on the following grounds. Number A, Mr. Speaker, on various occasions, A, that is on abuse of office. On various occasions, the County Executive Committee member have repeatedly engaged in one abuse of office, Mr. Speaker, under A, authorizing the illegal withdrawal of funds, Mr. Speaker, cover-up and falsification of documents, fictitious payments of works and goods and services, Mr. Speaker, double payments of retention fee, Mr. Speaker, overseeing skewed and unfair distribution of roadworks in the county, Mr. Speaker, overseeing skewed payments of works in the road department in the financial year of 2024 and 2025, Mr. Speaker, despite the provision of organized ward schedule, Mr. Speaker. Failing to keep proper records of documents in their departments and authorizing payments not supported by proper documentation from the county covers, openly sabotaging the county assembly's effort to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act of 2012, consistently using their power and office to implement and further personal and self-interests that profits them at the expense of the trust bestowed in the office they hold. The acts of the County Executive Committee member enumerated above as broad dishonor and distributing into the office she holds and amounts to abuse of office are grounds for removal of office of a member of the County Executive Committee member. To that extent, she is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of a state officer and a person of the stature of the county executive member. 2, Mr. Speaker, she significantly diminishes public confidence in the office of the county executive member and her ability to effectively discharge her mandate. She ran afoul the oath of office taken by a state officer to obey, preserve, protect, and uphold the Constitution at all times without fear, favor, ill will, affection, or prejudice. B, Mr. Speaker, under the incompetence, the county executive member paid retention fees in the financial year of 2024-2025, Mr. Speaker, for projects allegedly done and completed in the financial year of 2018-2019, 2019-2020, and 2020-2021. For instance, Mr. Speaker, the Magro Products Limited was paid retention of Kenya shillings 395,028 shillings and 63 cents, Mr. Speaker. That is 395,028 shillings and 63 cents for the project that is Whispers Nyakinywa Road in Kedoa Kimwil Ward, contract known CGK RD/MT of 2018-2019. In another instance, Mr. Speaker, Magro Products Limited was paid retention of Kenya shillings 312,079 shillings, Mr. Speaker, for the project of C35 Segetet Morao Bridge Road in Kipkelion Ward, contract of CGK PWRT RMLF/T 2020, that is of 2021 of 035, Mr. Speaker. I think that is the tender number, Mr. Speaker. In another instance involving the same contractor, Magro Products Limited, the contractor was paid retention of Kenya shillings 496,860 and 10 cents for the project of Lelsote Bridge in Londiani Ward, Mr. Speaker, with a specified contract known, Mr. Speaker. In another instance involving the same contractor, Magro Products Limited, the contractor was paid retention of Kenya shillings 287,532 and 70 cents for the project proposed construction of B1 Natumek Kapchuma Road in Kedoa Kimwil Ward. That is the contract CGK RDMT 2019/2020-32. Mr. Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport, the county made payments of 2,964,000 to Tokila General Supplies for general office items and stationery. The committee observed that the paid amount was 2,964,000, while the invoice amount was 2,000,000 964,000. Further, the tender opening Tokila General Supplies was not among the companies evaluated as per evaluation report dated 13 December of 2024. Under the gross misconduct, Mr. Speaker, consistently failing to provide leadership and discharge responsibility as a county executive member, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, failing to exhibit honesty, transparency, and impartiality in the execution of our duties, Mr. Speaker. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, refraining from taking responsibility, making diversionary and contradictory statements about the circumstances under which the funds were lost, Mr. Speaker. Approbating, Mr. Speaker, reprobating and feigning ignorance on the unfortunate thefts of funds, Mr. Speaker. The acts of the county executive member enumerated above as brought dishonor and disrepute into the office she holds and amount to gross misconduct, a ground for removal from office of a member of the county executive committee. Under C, Mr. Speaker, that is the violation of the Constitution and other written laws. Mr. Speaker, approving the withdrawal of public funds contrary to the provisions of Section 138 of Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. Mr. Speaker, number 2, breaching the trust bestowed on state officers by Article 73 and 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, the aforementioned County Executive Committee member is in breach of Section 1 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. The acts of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member enumerated above as brought dishonor, disrepute into the office she holds and amounts to a violation of the Constitution and other written laws, a ground for removal from office of a member of the County Executive Committee. 2, Mr. Speaker, in evidence to this notice of motion, Mr. Speaker, evidence of engagement, connivance, and complicity in the preceding acts of gross misconduct is to be found in report, Mr. Speaker, of the alleged fictitious payment of Kenya shilling 80 million from various departments in financial year of 2024-2025, August, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, and Mr. Speaker, on the budget document of 2024-2025, Mr. Speaker, that is the ADP, GIDP and ADP, Mr. Speaker, the budget on skewed payments of works across the county, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to read the point number 2 on unfair distribution of road works across the county, Mr. Speaker, is to be found in 2024-2025 CIDP and ADP, Mr. Speaker, and the budget document that was approved by this House, Mr. Speaker. On the skewed payments of work across the county, Mr. Speaker, is also to be found on the budget documents, Mr. Speaker. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, in the preceding paragraphs and warrant removal from the position of the county executive member. Mr. Speaker, the conduct of the aforementioned county executive member as depicted in this motion is extremely unethical, deplorable, and reprehensible. Is incompatible with the dignified status of the office of the county executive member. Given the grounds outlined in this motion and whose particulars are enumerated above, I humbly urge this House to abolish this motion and resolve pursuant to provisions of Section 40 of the County Government Act, Mr. Speaker, of 2012, and Standing Order No. 76 of the Kericho County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, to remove from office Honorable Brenda B, the County Executive Member for Public Works, Roads and Transport in the County Government of Kericho. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mrs. Rotich. Clerk, next.
Notice of motion by Honorable Mrs. Rotich to remove from office of the County Executive Committee member in charge of health services.
Mrs. Rotich.
Thank Thank you once more, Mr. Speaker. I wish, Honorable Speaker, I beg the support of the honorable members of the County Assembly of Kericho, whose names and signatures are annexed here as Annexure 1, to give a notice of motion for the removal of office of Honorable David Ekwam, the County Executive Member for Health Services in the Kericho County and in the County Government of Kericho for abuse of office, gross misconduct, and gross violation of the Constitution and other written laws. The specific grounds of the motion are organized thematically in ensuing paragraphs of the motion. The evidence in support of the motion is set out in my affidavit in support of this motion, the annexures to my affidavit. Further, the affidavit presented herewith verifies the accuracy and reliability of the annexes of the motion. Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 2 of the Constitution sets out the supremacy of the Constitution of Kenya and binds all persons and all state organs at both levels of government, under the article, no person may claim or exercise the state authority except as authorized under the Constitution. Whereas Article 3 of the Constitution establishes an obligation on the part of every person to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. Whereas Article 10 of the Constitution sets out national values and principles of governance for Kenya. Among these values and principles are the rule of law, human dignity, equity, non-discrimination, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 10, 73, 75, and 232 of the Constitution requires state officers at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that inter alia brings honor to the nation and the dignity of the office that the state officer holds. 2, portrays selfless service based solely on the public interest, demonstrated by honesty in execution of public duties and declaration of the personal interest that may conflict with public interest. 3, Mr. Speaker, ensures decisions made by the state officer are not influenced by nepotism, favorism, improper motives, demonstrate discipline towards and commitment in the service to the people. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, avoid demeaning and demeaning the office the state officer holds. Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 73 2DE, 231(1)(e), the Constitution provides for accountability of the state officer to the public for all decisions made in exercise of the powers of the office they hold, and that accountability is a critical principle of leadership and integrity. Mr. Speaker, whereas Section 3 and 16 of Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, Section 9, 10, and 12 of the Public Officers Ethics Act of 2003 establishes, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, probity, and non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, transparency, and accountability as part of the national values and principles of governance. Whereas Section 4.1 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that every person has the responsibility of implementing the provisions of the Act to the extent required by this Act. Whereas Section 7.1 and 2 of Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provide that a state officer shall respect and abide by the Constitution and the law, and that a state officer shall carry out the duties of the office in accordance with the law. Whereas Section 8 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that the state officer a state office is a position of the public trust, and the authority and the responsibility vested in a state officer shall be exercised by the state officer in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Whereas Section 9 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that the state officer shall take personal responsibility for reasonably foreseeable consequences of any action or omission arising from the discharge of the duties of the office. Whereas Section 9, Mr. Speaker, whereas Section 11 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 obligates state officers to carry out the duties of the office in a manner that maintains public confidence in the integrity of the office. Whereas Section 12 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, Mr. Speaker, of 2012 provides that the state officer shall not use the office to unlawfully or wrongfully enrich himself or herself or any other person. Whereas Section 13, Mr. Speaker, of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 sets out the moral and ethical requirements that a person holding the state office should observe and maintain, to include honesty in the conduct of the public affairs, subject to the Public Officer Ethics and Ethics Act number 4 of 2003, not to engage in activities that amount to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent information to the public, not engage in wrongful conduct in furtherance of personal benefit, not misuse public resources, not to discriminate against any person except as expressly provided for under the law. Mr. Speaker, there's someone playing some sweet music, Mr. Speaker. Can I be heard in silence, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable members, I think I had made that ruling that let's put our phones on silent mode, otherwise we would be forced to confiscate that phone and keep it for you until that time when the honorable member is done with giving his notice of motion. So let's abide by that. Continue, Honorable Moses Rotich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your protection. Not to falsify any records, not engage in actions which would lead to the state officer's removal from the membership of a professional body in accordance with the law. Whereas Section 23 of Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that a state officer shall not use their office or the information gained from their office to improperly enrich themselves or others. It prohibits the pursuit of personal wealth through abuse of office, including insider information, favorism, or a manipulation of processes for personal gain. Section 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 state officer to, at all times, carry out the duties of the officer with impartiality and objectivity in accordance with Article 10, 27, 73, 2B, and 232 of the Constitution, and shall not practice favorism, nepotism, tribalism, cronyism, religious bias, or engage in corrupt or unethical practices. Whereas Section 25 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012, officer who has a duty to give advice shall give honest, accurate, and impartial advice without fear or favor, while Section 29 prohibits a state officer from knowingly giving false or misleading information. Whereas Section 30 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that the state officer shall not falsify records. Whereas Section 41 of the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 provides that a breach of the code amounts to misconduct from which the state officer may be subjected to disciplinary proceedings. Where an allegation of breach of the code has been made against the state officer in respect of whom the Constitution or any other laws provide the procedure for removal or dismissal, the question of removal or dismissal shall be determined in accordance with the Constitution or other law. Whereas Section 40 of the County Government Act of 2012, Standing Order number 76 of the Kericho County Assembly, provides for the removal of county executive member on any of the following grounds, Mr. Speaker, that is A, gross violation of the Constitution or any other written law, B, the incompetence of the Speaker, C, abuse of office, D, gross misconduct, or, if convicted of an offense, punishable by imprisonment for at least 6 months. Whereas Section 40 of the County Government Act of 2012 and the Standing Order number 76 of the Kericho County Assembly sets out the procedure to be followed in the removal of a member of the County Executive Committee member from office. Whereas Section 12, Mr. Speaker, of the Public Officers and Ethics Act provides that public officer shall carry out their duties in a way that maintains public confidence in the integrity of their office. They are required to be professional, efficient, impartial, to always put public interest above personal gain, Mr. Speaker. Whereas Section 16 of Public Officers and Ethics Act prohibits public officers from allowing their decisions or actions to be influenced by nepotism, favorism, or other improper motives. A public officer must act objectively and impartially, Mr. Speaker, avoiding that could suggest corrupt or personal bias in the performance of their duties. Whereas Section 22 of the Public Officers and Ethics Act, Mr. Speaker, makes it an offense for a public officer to request, receive, or accept any property, benefit, or advantage in the course of their official duties. If such benefit is intended to influence them in carrying out their functions, it directly addresses bribery and corruption, requiring officers to reject any inducement and to perform their duties based solely on the merit and law. Whereas Section 26 of Public Officers and Ethics Act, Mr. Speaker, provides that a public officer shall not cause anything to be done through another person that would be contrary to the Public Officers Ethics Act if done by other officers themselves. In other words, a public officer cannot escape liability by delegating or using proxies to commit acts that amount to unethical conduct. The aforementioned member of the county executive member has on multiple occasions directly or indirectly engaged in acts and conduct which severally and collectively amounts to gross misconduct. By these acts, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the county executive member has exposed the office he holds in the County Executive Committee to embarrassment and extreme disrepute. The conduct of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member has been scandalous and embarrassing to the office he holds, and contrary to the constitutional values and principles spelled by the Constitution, which are binding on the County Executive Committee members. Mr. Speaker, the aforementioned County Executive Committee member has variously committed constitutional wrongs that warrant his removal from office. The continued stay in the office of the aforementioned member of the County Executive Committee has and will continue to undermine the effective service delivery to the detriment of the people of Kericho County. The Assembly resolved to remove from office under Section 40 of the County Government Act of 2012 and Standing Order Number 76 of the Kericho County Assembly on the following grounds, Mr. Speaker. A, on abuse of office. On various occasions, Mr. Speaker, the County Executive member have repeatedly engaged in abuse in 1A, authorizing the illegal withdrawal of funds, Mr. Speaker, cover-up and falsification of documents, fictitious payments of works and goods and services, failing to keep proper records of documents in their departments, and authorizing payments not supported by proper documentation from the county coffers. Mr. Speaker, openly sabotaging the County Assembly's effort to discharge its oversight role under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act of 2012, consistently using their power and office to implement and further personal and self-interest that profits them at the expense of the interest bestowed in the office they hold. The acts of the County Executive Committee member enumerated above has brought dishonor and disrepute into the office he holds and amounts to abuse of office, a ground for removal of office of a member of the County Executive Committee. To that extent, they are incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of a state officer. Mr. Speaker, they significantly diminish public confidence in the office of the County Executive Committee member and his ability to effectively discharge his mandate. They run afoul the oath of office taken by the state officers to obey, preserve, protect, and uphold the Constitution at all times without fear, favor, ill will, affection, or prejudice. Under the gross misconduct, Mr. Speaker, holding a public office despite being a state officer in contravention of Article 73(2) of the Constitution of 2010, Section 35 of the County Government Act, Section 12, 16, 22, and 26 of Public Officers Ethics Act, Section 11, 20, 23, 26, 30 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. Consistently failing to provide leadership and discharge his responsibility as a county executive committee member, failing to exhibit honest transparency and impartiality in the execution of his duties, refraining from taking responsibility, making diversionary and contradictory statements about the circumstances under which the funds were lost, reprobating and feigning ignorance on the unfortunate theft of funds. The act of the county executive committee member enumerated above has brought dishonor and disrepute into the offices he holds and amount to gross misconduct, a ground for removal from office of a member of the county executive committee. Violation under the violation of the Constitution and other written laws, approving the withdrawal of public funds contrary to provision of Section 138 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015, providing over misappropriation of public funds. His department contracted 2 companies to supply medical equipment at a total cost of 4,063,800 shillings, Mr. Speaker. These were Afroscape Limited at a cost of 1,999,800, Slick Solutions Limited at a cost of 2,064,000. The County Assembly ad hoc committee report on alleged fictitious payments noted that the department split the procurement, Mr. Speaker, into 2 to enable them to use requests for quotation instead of using open tender, which is a more transparent and a competitive method. Further, Afroscape Limited did not provide items invoice, while the items provided by Slick made reference to construction and not medical equipment, pledging the trust bestowed on state officer by Articles 73 and 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. The act of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member enumerated above has brought dishonor and disrepute into the office he holds and amounts to violation of the Constitution and other written laws, a ground for removal from office of a member of the County Executive Committee. Evidence in support. Evidence of this engagement, connivance, and complicity in the preceding acts of gross misconduct is to be found in 1, report of the County Assembly ad hoc committee report on alleged fictitious payment of August 2025. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, in the preceding paragraphs of the motion and the evidence annexed to this motion, I have outlined the ground of gross misconduct and laid out with the county in the county government of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Moses. Clerk, next.
Notice of motion by Honorable Vincent Korir to remove from office the County Executive Committee member in charge of water, energy, environment, forestry, and natural resources through impeachment.
Honorable Vincent Korir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg with the support of members of County Assembly of Kericho, whose name and signatures have annexed here to Annex Chair 1, to move a motion for removal from office of Honorable Filimon Kurat, the County Executive Committee member for Water, Environment, Energy, Natural Resources in the County Government of Kericho for 1, abuse of office, 2, gross misconduct, 3, gross violation of Constitution and other written laws. The specific grounds of the motions are organized thematically in ensuing paragraphs of the motions. The evidence in support of the motion is set out in 1, my affidavit in support of this motion. Number 2, the annexes to my affidavit. Further, the affidavit presented herewith verifies the accuracy and reliability of the annexes to motion. Whereas Number 1, Article 2 of the Constitution sets out the supremacy of the Constitution of Kenya and binds all persons and state organs at both levels of government. Under the article, no person may claim or exercise the state authority except as authorized under the Constitution. Number 2,
Article 3 of the Constitution establishes an obligation on the part of every person to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. Number 3, Article 10 of the Constitution sets out national values and principles of governance for Kenya: rule of law, human dignity, equality, non-discrimination, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Number 4, Article 10, Article 73, Article 75, and 232 of the Constitution require state officer at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in manner that, in the earlier one, brings honor to the nation and dignity of the office that state officer holds. Number 2, portrays selfless service based on solely on the public interest, demonstrated by honesty in execution of public duties and declaration of any personal interest that may conflict with public interest. Section 9, 10, and 12 of the Public Officer Ethics Act 2003 establish, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, property, non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, transparency, and accountability as part of national values and principles of governance. Number 7, Section 4.1 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that every person has responsibility of implementing the provisions of this act to the extent required by this act. Number 8, Section 7.1 and 2 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provide that a state officer shall respect and abide by Constitution and the law, and that state officer shall carry out duties of the office in accordance with the law. Number 9, Section 8 of Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that state officer is a position of public trust and authority, and responsibility vested in a state officer shall be exercised by the state officer in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Number 10, Section 9 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 that states that a state officer shall take personal responsibility for the reasonable, foreseeable consequences of the actions or omissions arising from the discharge of duties of the office. Number 11, Section 12, the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 obligates that state officers to carry out the duties of the office in manner that maintains public confidence in the integrity of the office. 12. Section 12 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that state officers shall not use the office of the to unlawfully or wrongfully enrich himself or herself or any other person. Number 13. Section 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 sets out that moral and ethical requirements that a person holding office, state officers, should observe and maintain to include honesty in the conduct of public affairs, subject to Public Officer Ethics Act number 4 of 2003. Not to engage in activities that amount to abuse of office, accurately and honestly represent information to the public, not to engage in wrongful conduct in furtherance of a personal benefit, not to misuse public resources, not to discriminate against any person except as expressly provided for under the law, not to falsify any records, not to engage in actions which will lead to state officers' removal from membership of professional body in accordance with the law. Number 14, Section 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 obligates that state officer to at all times carry out the duties of the office with impartiality and objectivity in accordance with Article 10, 27, 73, 2B, and 232 of the Constitution, and shall not practice favoritism, nepotism, tribalism, cronyism, religious bias, or engage in corrupt and unethical practices. Number 15, Section 25 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that state officer who has duty to give advice shall give honest, accurate, and impartial advice without fear or favor, while Section 29 prohibits a state officer from knowingly giving false or misleading information. Number 16, Section 30 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that state officers shall not falsify records. Number 17, Section 41 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 provides that a breach of the record amounts to misconduct for which state officer may be subjected to disciplinary proceedings where an allegation of breach of the code has made against a state officer in respect to whom the Constitution or any other law provides the procedure for removal or dismissal. The question of removal or dismissal shall be determined accordance with the Constitution or that other law. Number 18. Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012, Standing Order number 75 of the Standing Orders of the County Assembly of Kericho provides for the removal of the County Executive Committee member on any of the following grounds. A, gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. Number B, incompetence. Number C, abuse of office. Number D, gross misconduct. Or E, if convicted of an offense punishable by imprisonment for at least 6 months. 19. Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order number 75 of the Kericho County Assembly, Standing Orders, further provides for the procedure to be followed in the removal of a member of the County Executive Committee member from the office. 20. The aforementioned member of the County Executive member has on multiple occasions directly and indirectly engaged in acts and conducts which severally and collectively amount to gross misconduct. Number 21. By this act and conduct, the County Executive Committee member has exposed the office he holds in County Executive Committee to embarrassment and extreme disrepute. Number 22, the conduct of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member has been scandalous and embarrassing to the high office of they hold, and contrary to the Constitution, values and principles spelled by the Constitution, and which are binding on the County Executive Committee members. Number 23, the aforementioned County Executive member has seriously committed constitutional wrongs that warrant with the removal from office. Number 24, the continued stay in office of the aforementioned members of the County Executive Committee has and will continue to undermine effective service delivery to the detriment of the people of Kericho County. The Assembly resolves to remove from office under Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order number 75 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders on the following grounds. A, abuse of office. On various occasions, the County Executive member have repeatedly engaged in 1, abuse of office by A, authorizing the illegal withdrawal of funds. B, cover up and falsification of documents. C, fictitious payments of work, goods and services. D, failing to keep proper records and documents in their department and authorizing payments not supported by proper documentation from the county coffers. E, openly sabotaging the county assembly efforts to discharge its oversight role under Article 195 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 of the County Government Act 2012. F, consistently using their power and office to implement and further personal selfish interests that profit them and expense of the trust bestowed in the office they hold. The acts of the County Executive member enumerated above has both dishonor, disrepute into the office he holds and amount to abuse of office. A ground for removal from the office of the member of the County Executive Committee member to the extent that 1, he is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of state officer and person of stature of the County Executive member. Number 2, he significantly diminishes public confidence in the office of the County Executive member and his ability to effectively discharge his mandate. Number 3, he ran afoul the oath of office taken by state officers to obey, preserve, protect, and uphold the Constitution at all times without fear, favor, ill will, affection, or prejudice. G, skewed implementation of development projects across the county. B, H, overseeing accumulation of many bills and over commitment of development vote. B, gross misconduct. Number 1, consistently failing to provide leadership and discharge his responsibility as County Executive member. Number 2, failing to exhibit honesty, transparency, impartiality in the execution of his duties. Number 3, reprobating and feigning ignorance on the unfortunate theft of funds. The acts of the County Executive Committee member enumerated above has both dishonor, disrepute into the office he holds and amounts to gross misconduct, ground for removal from the office of the member of County Assembly of County Executive Committee. C, violation of the Constitution and other laws. 1, approving the withdrawal of public funds contrary to the provision of Section 138 of the Public Procurement Asset Disposal Act 2015. Number 2, breaching the trust bestowed on the state officer by Article 73 and 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. Number 3, The aforementioned county executive member is in breach of Section 54(1) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. The acts of the aforementioned county executive member enumerated above has brought dishonor, disrepute in the office he holds, and amounts to violation of the Constitution and other written laws, a ground for removal from office of a member of County Executive Committee. Number 2, evidence in support. Evidence of his engagement, connivance, and complicity in the preceding acts of gross misconduct is to be found in number 1, report of the County Assembly ad hoc committee alleged fictitious payment, August 2025. Number 2, report on the implementation status of FLOCA programs. Number 3, report on the ad hoc committee on pending bills at County Assembly. 3, conclusion. 3.1. In the preceding paragraphs of the motion and the evidence annexed to this motion, I have outlined the ground of gross misconduct and laid out the precise, specific, and particulars in support of the ground for removal of the office of Honorable Filimon Kurat, the County Executive Committee member of Water, Environment, and Energy and Resources. The motion herein contains sufficient particulars, evidence, proof, and for a named member of the County Executive Committee, acts of omission and commission, which in their totality constitute gross misconduct, abuse of office, violation of the Constitution and other written laws, and warrantless removal from the position of County Executive Committee member. 3.3. The conduct of the aforementioned County Executive Committee member has depicted in this motion is extremely unethical, deplorable, and reprehensible, is incompatible with the dignified status of officers of County Executive Committee member. Given grounds outlined in this motion and whose particulars have been enumerated above, I humbly urge this House to uphold this motion and resolve, pursuant to provision of Section 40 of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order number 75 of Kericho County Assembly, standing orders to remove from office Honorable Filimon Kurat, the County Executive Member for Water, Energy, Natural Resources in the County Government of Kericho. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Vincent Korir. Clerks, next order of business.
Order number 7, question and statements.
So being no other business, this House stands adjourned until 2:30 p.m.